serving in youth ministry. Reverend Carol's interest in metaphysical aspects of Christianity led her to the Center of Enlightenment, where she has been an ordained minister since 2015. Almost 7 years already. Man, time flies.
I'm telling you.
Reverend Carol is currently the treasurer on our board of directors, and she teaches great courses, including spiritual economics and understanding the Sermon on the Mount. Treasurer, economics, Christianity, Sermon on the Mount. Makes sense. Please welcome Reverend Carol Willis.
Thank you, Reverend David. I really think we need to have a service where we can dance. I had a hard time sitting still.
As Men Without Hats said, it's safety dance. You could dance if you want to.
There you go.
Typically, you have to be in the back of the church.
Oh, well. I'm so glad to see all of you here this morning. And for our new people, it's such a joy that you're here to join us this morning. I hope this sermon inspires you. What I'm going to talk about today is, what do you stand for? This time of year is college graduation time. At every college graduation event, there is a well-known person invited to give the commencement address to the graduates. In many different ways, the speeches say the same basic idea. And here are some examples. Number one, the future lies ahead of you. What will you make of it? Number two, make your mark on the world stage. Number three, graduation is not the end, but the beginning of who and what you will become in life. And number four, show people what you stand for. President Biden was a speaker, a commencement speaker. And this is one of the things that he said. Show people what you stand for. Show people who you are when you get out there. This is your opportunity to show people who you are and what you stand for. My favorite piece of advice is number four. Show people what you stand for. For me, this speaks more about things other than political issues, global warming, pollution, crime, gun control, and all of those issues that we see out there and hear about on the news every day. There is more that we stand for and support than these outer or physical issues. There's a story about a woman who was a runner. One day on the last part of the run, she jumped over a wall and she fell on the other side, causing her to become paralyzed from the neck down. Not only did she need physical therapy, but she needed mental and emotional therapy. Every day she would look at her new grandson and say, "We both move at the same pace." That's really a different way of looking at it. We both move at the same pace. As the baby grew, his motor skills improved, and so did Grandma's, because she continued her physical therapy. Grandma sometimes uses a wheelchair to get around and sometimes uses a cane for short distances. But she never gave up. She took a stand for how she wanted her future to be. And she and her grandson have a very special bond because he was part of her therapy. Our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, as well as our words and actions, show us and others what we stand for. There's an old adage that says, what you do speaks so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying. And my other favorite saying is, just watch people and they will tell you who they really are. Both ideas have proven many times to me to be true. I have seen it over and over. Life presents us with many opportunities to perform self-evaluation of our thoughts, emotions, beliefs, words, and actions. And so I will ask you the big question: what do you stand for? What do you stand for? Before we take sides on any outer issues, what inner spiritual ideas do we stand for? Because everything out here starts in here. Change and growth and spirituality is an inside job. We live from our inside out, not from the outside in. All right, so what spiritual ideas do we stand for? Is it love, kindness, and harmony? Is it infinite abundance and prosperity? And this is a tough one because in light of inflation, shortages, and the cost of basic goods, everything is costing more. There are shortages and people are scrambling. When I taught the course Spiritual Economics here at Center of Enlightenment, in the very first class, I gave definitions for physical economics versus spiritual economics. Spiritual economics is based on supply and demand, outer. Supply can exceed demand, or demand can exceed supply. So we can either have overages or shortages. We experience just what the result is of supply versus demand. But in spiritual economics, there is always enough. Because God is infinite supply and you cannot exhaust that. There's never a shortage. God is always enough. We always have what we need when we need it, and there's always enough. So we can either start there and move forward, or we can focus outside and look at the appearances and what's happening, and then take that inside to ourselves and believe that that's the truth about our life in our world. Because no matter what's going on out here, there are still people that are successful, that have plenty, that are making money, that live happy and productive lives, that are healthy, and so on and so on. It's all about our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs, our words, and our actions. And that all starts within us. And if we're connected to God, it makes a big difference because we're connected to all the presence, power, and activity of goodness and love, infinite supply, all that there is. We are connected to that. Or we're connected to what the scarcities and lack and whatever is happening out here. We have a choice on where we want to be connected. Can our belief system and our mind wrap itself around the truth? The truth that God is enough, there's infinite supply, we have all we need, What other spiritual truths can we wrap our mind around? And I just gave you some examples. It's our choice. I invite everyone to take stock of and evaluate your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, words, and actions. All of these are signs of what you stand for, and I'm there with you. Just because I'm a minister doesn't mean I know it all. Just because I've lived to my 7th decade doesn't mean I know it all. I still am doing self-evaluation. Because if I'm not happy with my life, that's the only thing that I can do. Reevaluate and take a stand and move forward. When COVID first began, a few weeks into it, the candle factory where I work laid people off for several weeks. All of a sudden, our business began booming. We went from $1 million in sales to $2 million in sales, and the company is still growing. And how many times did we hear this company went under, this company went under, this company went under? Our company doubled its size. The Bible states that we will not add 1 cubit to our stature when we worry. So all these states of mind we find ourselves in, like stress, worry, anxiety, fear, and so on, will produce effects in our lives as long as we entertain them. Or we could have something else instead. We could have something better, but we have to make it be there. There's an old time song that says, and this is really an old time song, you've got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, hold on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. It's so true. What we give power to, we give life to it. When we take the power of our thoughts and emotions away, the thing dies, because it only has the power that we give it. And so there's a couple of quotes that I would like to share with you. This first one is from Lisa Villa Prosen. The happiest people I know are evaluating and improving themselves. The unhappy are usually evaluating and judging others. How true. And this second one is by Norman Van Etten. The heart of all spiritual teaching is simple. Be love, be peace, be harmony, be compassion, be joy. And the last one is by Henry David Thoreau. Think for yourself, or others will think for you without thinking of you. So take time to do some evaluating on what you stand for. It will change your life. I'm not kidding. It will change your life, and you will be amazed and pleased. So thank you this morning for joining us. God bless you. Have a wonderful week, and thank you for listening.